Hi again guys, and I've got another replay cast again for you today. And today we're looking at Mr. Dane from the Train clan, nice rhyme there, in his VK30.01P. This is a tank that I really like. It was the first one I ever 3-marked, and it's had some love given to it with the 9.17.1 I believe it was, if not the patch before that, and it is now a much better tank than it used to be. Even before the HD model, the original version actually nerfed the turret. The turret was really strong with the standard definition model, and it was a bit of a weird tank back then. It was one of these tanks that they didn't know if it wanted to be a heavy or a medium, and it's a lot more defined now that it's been buffed a bit, because it was actually fairly sluggish before, and it still is to an extent, but it can actually get up to the top speed that it has a lot better, and it turns a little bit quicker now as well, and the gun handling is a lot better. And actually, continuing from the standard to HD model differences, the first iteration of the HD model actually nerfed the gun mantlet quite heavily, and I don't think that was something that they were originally wanting to do, so they buffed it again, and it's now still very strong. You do still have some weak points on the turret, of course, like the cupola, and also this little ridge here that can be overmatched by any gun over 75mm. So basically, if you've got a 76mm gun or higher, you can shoot here, and the driver will cry every time, because that's only 25mm here. And indeed the same on the entire roof other than the cupola. And that's something to keep in mind when you're shooting down on this tank. You can aim here and it'll generally go through, unless you've got something like a 57mm. But even then, if you're looking down at it like at this angle, you should be fine. And for today, Mr. Dane is going to be showing us exactly what he can do in his, and he's in quite nice matchmaking. This is a tier 6 match, standard battle on live oaks. Only 4 tier 6s per team, so very light tier 6 matchmaking, with the matchmaker as of 9.17.1. Obviously we've got 9.18 just around the corner, so it's going to be one of the few games that I'm going to be doing before then. Well, I say few, I'm going to be trying to get at least one per day out, unless something catastrophically bad occurs with my work schedule and rota, etc. So Mr. Dane is going to be going down the southeast flank, down past the rail tracks, generally where all the mediums tend to go on this flank. Although in this case there's only going to be 4 mediums out of his whole team going down this side, with 2 lights and a heavy tank, the friendly KV-1S. Now, Mr. Dane does not have a particularly amazing crew in this. I think it's only 100% on their first skill. Well, 100% and then learning their first skill, rather. And so he starts off by putting a good shot into the IKV-103 there, and get some spotting on some other tanks. Now, the reason why I say that that was a nice bounce from the SU-100 there. The reason why I say that this is just a 100% crew rather than a crew that has any skills fully trained is that he doesn't have 6th sense, and his view range is not particularly great. And that was looks like the enemy T40 has the derp, takes out his driver with some HE, and the birch gun drops another shell on him as well. Now, next patch, the birch gun won't be doing quite as much as that to a tank that with armor like the VK does. Obviously the turret being pretty strong, and the hull being 75 frontal, and I think 50-60mm of side armor, and rear being, I think it's 50. Now he's creeping around this side to try and get shots into the side of things like the enemy T-34-85. Maybe see if we can finish off the T-40 and get a shot on the ELC, or one of the ELCs there. There's a platoon of them. Actually really good matchmaking for the ELC as well. And there's the last DLC. That was quite a lucky shot there. The friendly leopard started driving in front of him, and he could have been killed by, or well, could have been damaged by Mr. Dane there if Mr. Dane had not gotten really lucky with that auto-aimed shot. Enemy T-34 there, he's not long for this world, and Mr. Dane is just going for it. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the kill. The STRV-74 over there does. Instead, Mr. Dane just wondering who got the kill there. Looks and sees the STRV. Now progressing forward down this flank, his team are leading by 1 kill, but this is not going to be an easy fight for them to win, because the enemy team still have 3 of their 4 tier 6s, and there's one of them, the SU-100. That looked for a second like high explosive there with the tracer, but you know, looks can be deceiving at times. Puts a good shot in just below the cupola. That was a low roll as well. This is a 220 alpha gun, remember, it's the short 88. Friendly STRV-74 puts a high roll shot into him, but then takes 488. I think that was either a really high roll from the SU, or a slightly high roll from the box tank that is on the enemy team as well. Enemy M44 has also been spotted down there, I think, or was it the birch gun? I think it was the M44. I was paying a little bit more attention to the health that the STRV was losing rather than seeing what was spotted behind the SU. Enemy M44 does take out the friendly OI experimental there, and Mr. Dane just creeps up to this bush here, trying to see if he can get an eye on the SU again. He will want to get rid of that big 122mm gun as soon as he can, because having 390 health shaved off every time that pens you is, or even more if it high rolls, is not exactly what you want having happen to you in this kind of match. Especially since his team are now down 7 kills to 12. Spots the M44 there and reloads an HE shell for him. And, well, takes his time. The M44 it was probably still reloading, so just calmly takes him out. Reloads APCR now, I think with the intention to take out the SU-100, because you do want to have the ability to take things out quickly and efficiently, and you want those shots to pen. So I can understand him loading the APCR here, especially since he's one of 2 tanks left on his team. The other being the tier 4 Swedish medium tank, the Lago. Meanwhile, on the enemy team, their T67 seems to be having a really good game. He's up to 6 kills. And enemy box tank has also been fairly active. He is on 2, and it looks like the birch gun has been securing a couple of kills, and since he is on 2 as well. So there's a couple of threats on the enemy team that Mr. Dane is going to have to deal with, especially the T67. That thing is just a bit powerful. It's pretty much got everything going for it, barring well, barring armor. It does, of course, only have, I think it's 20 to 25 millimeters at maximum overall thickness. Well, overall thickness rather than effective thickness, and that's only at the front. Obviously, the tracks count for about 10 millimeters at the sides, but again, you're probably going to be overmatching the armor on the sides anyway. So Mr. Dane's moving in to try and see how he can support the Lago. Nothing spotted from the enemy team just yet. Just pokes out to see if he can see anything around that corner. Pulls back just in case he's spotted. He doesn't want to get hit by the birch gun again. Makes an interesting decision here. This is a bit of an odd one. He decides to head back down this flank. I think expecting to find anyone who's trying to creep up on him from this side. Which I guess makes sense, but at this point you've got to think how many tanks are going to be coming from the city towards the Lago, because there were just a couple. But you've also got to think, where's the SU gone? Is he going to be trying to go around a different side since the SU was spotted, as was Mr. Dane on this flank, that obviously a bit closer to the base of the SU-100's team. So he's creeping back up to this bush where he first went to see if he can pick anything up that's trying to come up this way. But instead, there's the remaining ELC, and he looks like he's got the short 75mm. So Mr. Dane puts a shot towards him. Unfortunately, that one misses. Not the best aimed shot. But also the SU-100 is spotted, so going for him is probably the smart idea right here, and he does indeed go for him. And that shot actually flies true and takes out the SU. And now reloading the HE for either the ELC or the T-67 here. But he decides to go back to AP instead for some reason. Either would have worked in this situation. I guess he just didn't want to have the slight unreliability factor of the HE being a problem. Coming up over the rail lines here, and there's the T-67. Hello there, T-67. You weren't quite expecting the VK to be this close, were you? And the ELC is capping, and there we can indeed see that it is the short 75mm, but there's no time to deal with him just yet. There's a KV-1 on his side that he needs to get rid of. And it takes a hit from the KV-1, but that was only 90 damage, so that suggests that was the 57mm, and there was no way that Mr. Dane was going to miss that shot at that range. Now creeping around to try and find the ELC again. And there he is. Auto aims, puts a shot into the side of the ELC's turret, rams him, leaves him on 1 health. ELC trying to get away, but Mr. Dane just all he needs to do is back up in front of him there, and that was a little bit embarrassing for the ELC, I imagine. Reloads the APCR now because he does want to get the box tank out of the way pretty quickly, and you know, I've had some pretty ridiculous bounces off the gun mantlet of that thing, and it is quite a large gun mantlet. Mind you, it is a Russian tank, so bounces are to be expected with at least with standard ammo. Now he's creeping along the inside of the railway, on the side of the railway that's towards the swamp, and I think the reason why he's doing this is that he's expecting the box tank to be looking out down the side where everyone goes to begin with, which kind of makes sense. If the box tank was thinking, okay, the VK just took down pretty much everyone that was left alive on his team, barring himself and the artillery, he might be coming up down where everyone else went before, so he might be looking down there, which is not a bad train of thought. But well, turns out the box tank has been base camping the whole time, and that did get Mr. Dane spotted there. That shot puts in another one though before the box tank gets a chance to aim. Nice high roll there for 251. And then starts turning away towards his left, but then turns back towards his right to maybe try and fake out the box tank. Creeps up to these bushes here, and he's going to make good use of these, because there's the box tank, and now Mr. Dane's going to be able to double bush with these pretty effectively. Puts a good shot in there, another high roll for 233. And the box tank, well, he's trying to YOLO forward, and that shot, interestingly, bounces. Box tank is YOLOing forward now, trying to just get the proxy spot, but he's not going to get forward in time, and Mr. Dane takes him out, putting him up to 7 kills. And now it's just the birch gun, and there he is. And Mr. Dane does put a shot towards him, but that one flies miles to the side for some reason, despite being mostly aimed on target. Now bobbing and weaving to avoid shot, dodges one, and oh dear, close your eyes, cruelty to small tanks. This is not going to end well for the birch gun. Oh dear. And that's his 8th kill, and that won him the match. And now on to the results here. We've got Ace Tanker, Radley-Walters, Kolobanovs that everyone wants to get. And we've got a high caliber and of course the Top Gun that he got along with the Radleys. He ended up getting 2,737 damage with his 8 kills for 1,442 base XP. Not bad at all. He does run a premium account, so he earned 57,833 credits, and he only spent, well, 2,800 on repairing the vehicle, which isn't too bad at all. 12,000 on ammunition, despite firing some APCR rounds that match. That was not a bad ammunition cost whatsoever. And 3,000 on his med kit for healing his driver earlier in the match when the T40 took that out. And that gave him an overall profit of 39,577, which is pretty nice at tier 6, I've gotta say. And also the premium account did boost his overall XP earned from the base of 1442 to a total of 2,163, which is not bad at all. Not bad at all. So that was Mr. Dane taking out the VK30.01P and showing how to get a Radley-Walters in it. You just get good matchmaking and then just ruffle stomp your way through everyone. No, I'm kidding. This was a well fought match, and it would have been pretty damn difficult if he hadn't gotten the kill on the T67 and the kill on the SU-100 when they were spotted by the Lago. So very, very well played to him. Also very good awareness when fighting the last ELC there, that he didn't need to fire another shot of ammunition when the ELC was on low health, well, was on 1 health, as he could just back up in front of him. And the first time I watched this replay, I gotta say, I had to chuckle at him taking out the Birch gun here with the ram, as after elevating his gun to the max, just to salute the Birch gun at the end there and seal his victory. So very well done to you, Mr. Dane. And that's it from me for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this replay, and I'll catch you next time.